Everything just changed for the Milwaukee Bucks. We have a huge report that has just dropped from Shams as it pertains to Dame ahead of tonight's big matchup against the Pacers. We're going to break down exactly what that is and discuss what it means going forward, as well as break down multiple other updates, including some interesting comments from Giannis ahead of tonight's big matchup. Before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Bucks content. Thank you guys for your continued support over here. We're on, of course, a fantastic run, and the Bucks hopefully will start their fantastic run in Game 2 tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into it. There's a ton to go over today. Now, obviously, we've been discussing on this channel a lot about Dame and how his return at this point is imminent. And the big hope was Game 2, but Giannis Comments said it might end up being Game 3 following his blood clot, thrombosis, all these different things. Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Dame is returning to action tonight against the Indiana Pacers for Game 2 on the road. Now, this is huge for a magnitude of reasons. And like I just mentioned, it has been an interesting ride for the Bucks, this playoff run. Obviously, only one game, but with all the reports about Dame, going to be missing a start of the series, that he's going to be missing a lot of the playoffs. But then, in a medical miracle, he came back and was a lot better randomly, and then he, of course, now was on the cusp of a return. It is official. Dame is returning. And we saw him, of course, trash talk Tyrese Halliburton a little bit, saying, wait for me to come back. But this is extremely, extremely exciting, folks, because this completely, like I mentioned before the series, having Dame back completely alters the look of the team. And we saw in Game 1, Giannis had absolutely no help. Rick Carlisle was able to tell the Pacers defense to just scheme completely for Giannis, triple him, in the paint, on the block, wherever he is, make him beat you with mid-ranges, all these different things, make him beat you himself, because no one else is going to beat, the Bucks. Make the opposing team, the Pacers' plan was clearly just to make the Bucks bench beat them, right? And guess what? It worked. The bench, of course, and the starting lineup, and I say the bench when I'm talking about, of course, Gary Trent Jr. had a good game, AJ Green had a good game, but I meant beat, the role players, make them beat you guys rather than Giannis. And as you look at it now, that Dame is back, that's going to completely change things, because not only is Dame going to be able to provide some relief for Giannis Antetokounmpo, but most importantly, he's going to be able to give the Bucks some more star power and some more scoring. And we're going to dive into a bunch of different things here, but I want to bring this up for a reason. And let me know down below what starting lineup you would run. Now, do I think Doc Rivers is going to run this? I highly, highly doubt it. But this is the lineup I spoke about in the postgame video. This is the lineup that I've been clamoring for a while now. We saw in the regular season, with the shooters surrounding Dame and Giannis, that is what works best. And of course, since you got Jericho Sims, he has a fantastic net rating. Dame, Gary Trent Jr., again, Jericho Sims is an athletic five. Now, this would be taking Brook Lopez out of the equation, but with the way Jericho Sims is agile on his feet, his help defense, his positive net rating on the floor during the regular season, he's a beast, right? So Dame, Gary Trent Jr., AJ Green, Giannis, and Jericho Sims. I said this in my video a couple days ago, and now this is a good graphic for you all to look at. I think this makes by far the most sense. Defensively, is it really great? No, but Gary Trent Jr. and AJ Green are both very capable defenders. You also have now Jericho Sims going to be able to play help side defense at a much, much higher level than Brook Lopez is. And of course, you lose some size here, but you're going up against Indiana. You can put Jericho Sims on Miles Turner. Miles Turner's not going in the post. Miles Turner's not playing bully ball. And with this lineup, you're not going to be able to double Dame. You're not going to be able to double Giannis, at least effectively, because you have three shooters, two really good shooters in Dame and AJ Green. And even Gary Trent Jr. is a very solid shooter as well. But AJ Green is one of the best shooters in the NBA, and if not the best shooter in the NBA when it comes to, spot up threes, pull up threes, all these different things. So having him surrounding Dame, it then allows you to be in a much, much better spot. And again, you're looking at the starting lineup here. They're probably going to run Taurean Prince. They're probably going to run their normal guys out there, Taurean Prince, all these different guys. Ryan Rollins obviously not going to be starting now, you would assume. But regardless of that, you need to be able, if you're Doc Rivers, to make adjustments on the fly. We've seen the lack of adjustments he's been making. We've seen how disappointing the team was in Game 1. Obviously, you have Bobby Portis off the bench. Brook Lopez looks really bad. So I'm hoping that Doc Rivers takes some notes and actually uses some of these guys, because I think the best possible outcome here is you run that lineup. You can keep up then with the Pacers offensively. You can keep up with the Pacers defensively in their transition game, because you have a lot of agile players. And yes, are they the best, possible? Is it the best possible team on paper? Probably not. But again, you're going up against a Pacers team that's going to run the floor, that's going to take advantage of you defensively. They're going to take advantage of you offensively if you have poor defenders out there. And at least with this lineup, you have agile defenders. Are they the best perimeter defenders? No, but they are agile. Now, It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. And also let me know down below in the comment section, is this the lineup you want to see as well, or do you think they should stick with the initial lineup with Damian Lillard? We'll see what the ultimate decision is. But I want to dive into some more comments from Giannis. Now, I covered some in last night's video. Bucks Giannis Antetokounmpo raises eyebrows at Game 2 comments. And of course, you can see this here, but as the Bucks prepare for the second game, star forward Giannis Antetokounmpo had some interesting comments about it. Antetokounmpo discussed the level of urgency for his team, but he seemed to question whether they would be better in Game 2. I think we were late. We were getting ourselves in a lot of scramble mode. They were able to get downhill and create for the next guy, and then we were just in scramble modes. Now, I discussed this particular comment. We have some other ones in the video, yesterday. It's a very good point, right? Like, that's why I'm thinking this lineup is, and I think this lineup is a lot better. You are more agile. You have more players who can actually keep up with the transition game that the Pacers are running. And you also see in the third paragraph there, that's what they want you to do. And then they kind of break our defense and create way more open threes and guys getting downhill to the paint. We didn't have enough urgency going into Game 2. Hopefully we can improve that, or we can change that. We'll see, which it is interesting. Like, his comments don't exude a ton of confidence. He's saying, hopefully we can change that. We'll see all these different things. Now that Dame is back, of course, you're going to hope and you're going to pray that you're going to be able to, get that done, simply because obviously we're at an interesting stage now with Giannis and the Giannis experiment, the Dame experiment. There's been a bunch of different rumblings about whether or not, Dame's or Giannis is going to stay after this year if they don't do well, all these different things. But most importantly, of course, it's going to be a big question of how Dame looks, and that's something else that needs to be discussed. How is Dame going to look as once he returns? That's going to be a huge question mark. And of course, the other big question mark is, of course, going to be how he, how he fits in with the rest of the guys in the playoffs. And you look at his stats this year, he's having a very solid season, 24 points a game. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you dice it, losing a 24-point-per-game player, someone who performs in the playoffs really well, is used to carrying his team. This is what we've all been waiting for since they made the Dame trade 2 years ago. Last year, it was riddled with injuries. For the first time now, we get to see what it's like with Dame, with Giannis, and hopefully it'll be something that we're all very much so looking forward to, because on paper, the Pacers have more depth. You could argue the Pacers have more offensive firepower, but I think ultimately the Bucks are in a very, very good spot here. So let me know down below, do you want to see this lineup? And also, again, with Jericho Sims, you're going to be able to play help side defense. We saw him get a few blocks in the last game and just be around the paint and be active. And then off the bench, then you'd have Taurean Prince and Brook Lopez, but it might just be one of those series where Brook Lopez isn't super effective, and Taurean Prince, if he's not hitting shots, he's not effective either, and you need to be able to hit shots to keep up. So hopefully they can do that with Gary Trent Jr. And that's why you'd rather AJ Green and Gary Trent Jr. in there, just because they can actually keep up and hit those shots. One final thing, just a quick appreciation of how good Giannis Antetokounmpo was this season. You can see this graphic from the Bucks. I mean, he had a historic season, and that's why it's so important to get Dame back. You now have some more. Obviously, you have some more players, a player in Dame, who can help alleviate some of the pressure off Giannis, because it must be frustrating. He seems to be getting a little frustrated following, the disappointing years since they won the championship. But that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on all this. It's going to be crazy. Dame is returning. The vibes are fairly high, even following a brutal Game 1 loss against the Indiana Pacers. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news. Let us know down below if you think the Lakers or the Bucks are going to beat the Indiana Pacers, and hopefully you can take care of business.